I'm Albert Moore, live at University in Champaign. You might recognize that address.
There.
There was a shootout there last Friday. Our house was hit, went through our front window at an angle, came from University Avenue, aiming at the other person who evidently was turned around on the corner of on Fair Street and was shooting back. The police recovered 35 spent shells. This is a residential neighborhood. I grew up right in that neighborhood. My wife grew
We
up in
both
that
did.
neighborhood. Our kids went to Dr. Howard. We both went to Dr. Howard.
My mother did as well.
The
Lived in this neighborhood all our lives.
and to have this kind of thing happen is you feel violated and angry. We're really not sure what the solution is going to be. However, I understand the police force is down 25. Hopefully the latest bill that you guys passed or proposed is going to help remedy that. And maybe if you can appropriate more money to bump that force up to 30, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of retirements. I'm sure several of the officers that were out investigating the crime scene at my house, I'm sure they're probably getting very weary doing this type of.
Well, we know that for a fact because one of them spoke to us.
It's, of course, it's very stressful for them as well as us. Something like this has never happened in the neighborhood. We've lived there for.
We have lived there for 48 years. We hope to stay until we can't stay there anymore.
It's the solution, of course, the latest gun violence program that you passed, hopefully that's a path forward. I think that we can only add to that would be, like I said, instead of just fulfilling the 25 positions that's lacking at the police department, bump that up. Make it 30. There's going to be retirements. Going to be officers off duty for various reasons. Get a steady pipeline going. The other thing that I think we need to address is the opportunities for these young people that are out there that seem to find that it's a necessity for them or fulfillment of some sort for them to be engaged in this type of activity. Really has to. We were lucky enough, we left the house about 15 minutes before
this happened.
it.
If we heard those gunshots, we would have gotten up, looked out our front windows where the bullet came through, and one of us could have very well been hit. We also have a small tree in our front yard, in the middle of our front yard that we planted, the tree was hit, a branch was broken off. Just this past fall, my grandson was standing at that tree, decorating it with little homemade bird feeders that we had. That gunshot could have killed him.
There's 3 kids across the street that are homeschooled. The day before, I noticed them outside playing in the snow, just across the street. The person on Fair returned fire in that direction. They found traces of bullets, although they were buried in the snow, where they've actually, thank goodness they weren't, 35 shell casings, that's quite a few.
Yeah.
I appreciate the police for coming out. Did make a call. to them. Hopefully we'll be back in.
We haven't heard whether these culprits were caught or not.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council? Seeing none, council comment? Councilmember Beck.
So thanks to all the community members that came out today to talk to us about the various issues we're concerned about. One of the things that I find remarkable is when people want to make change in their communities and want to address the things that are happening in a positive way. What I also find interesting is when people decide to actually come in and when they decide enough is enough. Gun violence is not new in our community. It's not new to University Avenue. I mean, it is new maybe to that particular part on University Avenue, but it's not new to our community. It's been happening in neighborhoods that are predominantly black and brown. But until it happened to a white neighborhood, certain people don't come forward and they don't care. So my message to you this evening is that when it's 13 and 14-year-old black children dying in the street, we should be just as concerned as if it's a neighborhood that is predominantly white and is upper middle class. And so I appreciate people coming in and telling us their concerns and being upset. But until you come in because somebody else's neighborhood is being shot up, I don't want to hear it. I want you to come in because you're concerned that black and brown babies are being shot in the street. And that's what I want to hear. Period.
I'm sorry, but it's time for council comment. Is there any other council member who wishes to speak? Councilmember Fulmer.
I just want to second that.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?